so we have tested a lot of things on this channel. Now we have kind of worked our way all the way down to phone chargers. So today we are going to be testing a phone charger by a company called Titan. They have the wildest claims about this phone charger. They make this phone charger out to be like it is the strongest thing in the world and it's just the greatest thing that's ever been invented. They make it sound like it's like braided steel or something. They make it sound like you could just like be charging your phone, and then if you need to, you can just whip this thing out and use it as a tow strap, and then you could like tow a Jeep to the top of Mount Everest with it. And then once you got to the top of Mount Everest, you could like cast this over the mountain to a buddy and then like pull them up and save the day and all kinds of stuff. They have like wild claims for this. Honestly, I have a hard time believing them because we're going to be comparing it to just a regular charging cable. This one is just a regular Amazon special charging cable, nothing fancy, no wild claims or anything. I can tell you that whenever I have both of these in my hands, they really don't feel any different. For something that claims to be so strong and so durable and blah 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 and all this stuff, it's really flexible, and it feels just as flexible as this cable, even though this cable actually feels a little bit stronger. This cable that claims to be so strong is not any thicker. In fact, I think it's a little bit slimmer than this cable. Nothing feels out of the ordinary. I can confirm, they also claim that this cable will charge faster and transfer data faster. I confirmed that. That is not true. This cable transfers data and charges a phone just as fast as any other USB-C cable. It's not going to do anything any faster. It just feels and looks just like a regular cable that's just been made out to be something that it's probably not. The only difference really is the heads. The Titan cable has everything, has 90-degree heads, which I personally hate. I think they're ridiculous to use. And then our regular cable just has everything straight. That's the only difference. Let's test them and let's see how they hold up. All right, so the first test that we're going to do is I have 2 loops tied into the phone cables, and then we're going to put them on the crane scale. We're going to see how much force it takes to pull them apart. And we're going to start with the generic Amazon cable, just because I do not anticipate the Titan cable being a whole lot stronger. Put one end on the crane scale, and I have an anchor in the floor. Now let's, before I pull this, I'm just gonna take a wild guess and say somewhere around 75 pounds is where I think the cable's gonna snap. Let me use this just in case I need to pull real hard. Really? 225 pounds. There you see it, 225 pounds. And that was actually a pretty clean snap. Snapped clean right there. Right at the knot, pretty much where you'd expect it to snap. Let's see if the Titan cable does any better. See what this Titan Smart cable can do. See if we can beat 225 pounds. Feels way more stretchy. It really is. It's way more stretchy. Wow. Wow. For being such a strong cable, 85 pounds? That's it? The world's strongest cable? The cable that's supposed to be so strong that you can like pull cars with it and like do all kinds of stuff? 85 pounds? Really? And it was really stretchy. 4 or 5 inches before it broke, whereas the Amazon one just like, it didn't really stretch hardly at all, it just snapped. That's that's pathetic. That is very pathetic. All right, so whenever I bought these cables, these Titan cables, I bought 2 different types of cables. A regular USB and then a USB-C, and then I bought ones that just are 2 USB-C ports. Now, I was looking at the cables, and the outer coating of the cables is different. The one that we just did was kind of smoother, and this one has kind of like a rougher texture. Now, I'm 99% sure that these cables were both advertised to be the extremely strong and extremely durable cable, but we're going to test the other one just for the sake of consistency and just to give this the best chance possible. I don't have high hopes, but we'll see. Let's see if we can get above 89 pounds. Let's see what we can get up to. Oh, this feels the exact same. Okay, that's a little bit better, tiny bit. 130 pounds. So either these cables are made of slightly different materials, or maybe that was just, you know, a lucky pull. This one just happened to be strong and get a higher reading. Still pretty much exactly 100 pounds less than the regular, cheaper Amazon cable that is supposed to be weaker. So still not impressive at all. That was probably just a lucky pull. This one might just have been strong, might have just been a little bit stronger than the last one. Still not impressive at all. Alright, so now that we know that the Titan cable itself isn't anywhere near as strong as what they claim that it is, we need to test the other claim that they make. Obviously this is the Amazon cable, but they claim that the ends on the cables are stronger than any other cable, and they claim that, I don't remember what the exact claim was, but something about, they claim like it'll never pull off or never rip or something. So in order to test how strong, and I don't know if this is even going to work, this is my first time trying this, but I've rigged up this little thing with a pair of vice grips, and I'm just going to put my vice grips onto the end, and then we'll put that on the crane scale, and we'll see if it'll pull it off of the wire, and then we'll see how much force it takes to pull it off the wire compared to the Amazon cable. So Amazon cables first, see what happens. All right, let's see how strong that end is. I'm going to say if this cable broke at 225, I'm going to say that end is probably going to be right around 180, something like that. Oh, okay. That was not quite expected. So you can see there, 81 pounds, and then you can see the little, the end that we pulled out. Yeah, I can even feel the glue just pulled right off the edge. So if that only took 81, I'm going to say that the next one's probably going to take 40 or something. Like, it has to be significantly less. All right, we got her all locked in. Let's see if these 90-degree charging heads really are stronger than normal. Oh. Maybe not. Oh, okay. So we got a clean pull out of the head of that one. That was 82 pounds. So I just completely blanked on what the last one was. It was 80 something. I think it was 81. So if it was 81, it was actually 1 pound stronger. Still not impressed because the cable itself, that means that the head pretty much breaks at the same force that the cable itself breaks. So not super impressive, but I'm a little bit impressed that it's at least equal to a regular cable. By the commercial, based on the commercial, it should be like 250 or more. You know, it should be, you know, way up there if this cable was even a tenth as strong as they say it is. Impressive, but not really impressive. All right, so we're just gonna do a little bit of a dissection and just see, look at each cable and see what the differences was, and just see what made each cable stronger or weaker. So I'm gonna use a little pointer here. So we're gonna use this cable right here is the very first one that we tested. You can see that it has a little bit of a different texture than this one. This one is the one that broke at 89 pounds, I believe. So whenever we kind of peel this back, you can see that we just have a fabric, and then we just have this little rubber casing, and then a little bit of like an aluminum foil type of a situation, and then just 4 wires, and that's it. So that pretty much explains why it only held 89 pounds. It has absolutely nothing reinforcing it whatsoever. We move over to cable number 2, which is also a Titan cable. We have this outer rubber casing, which is thicker than this one, which I know you can't, you know, feel it on camera, but this is pretty thin and floppy, and this one is actually pretty thick. So this probably contributed the most to the difference in strength, but same thing, we're left with just some type of foil, I guess, to prevent interference or something. And then for some reason, on this one, we have 5 wires instead of 4. I think these were both USB-C ends. I could be wrong, and that could be the difference for the wires. But the extra wire definitely would have helped a little bit in the strength, but still nothing super impressive. So then we move on to the Amazon Basics cable, and you see that we have the outer fabric, and then we have this, which is the rubber surround, which is far thicker and more dense than the rubber surround on the Titan cable. So that's number 1. And then, I haven't stripped this away yet, whenever you look at the Amazon cable, it has like a metal mesh all the way around it. So like, I don't know if this metal is like for strength or if it's to protect from interference or what. So you have this metal like mesh wire stuff, and then you have aluminum foil, and then you have this like cloth type stuff that I have no idea what this does. I can only assume that this cloth is for strength, or maybe to prevent the wires from rubbing together or something. And then, ow, I just poked myself. Those little wires really get you. 4 wires. This one right here is just kind of like a raw wire, and that's the one that poked me. Then you have your 3 regular coated wires. So you can see the difference. That is why there's such a difference in strength in the 2 wires. And honestly, that just kind of reinforces my point that the Titan cable is very disappointing. And I would really, for something that is advertised to be so strong, I would have really thought that I would have seen a lot more inside of this cable, and I would have figured that it would have been a lot stronger. Alright, so for the last thing, they have, in the commercial, they show this phone cord being able to pull at like a van. That probably weighs, roughly the same amount as my truck. Now, obviously, from our scale test, we know that this probably isn't going to be possible, but it did it on the commercial, so we're going to do it in real life. I have the cord just wrapped around the hitch, and I'm just going to feed it through this rope. That way I have kind of a longer area to pull. This way we can give it the best chance possible. Truck's in neutral. Alright, let's go. Oh, it's moving. The ground is slippery. Maybe if we get it rocking. Oh, come on. Oh, it's working. Okay, that was surprising. I guess it takes significantly less force to roll a vehicle that is in neutral than what I thought. I figured that would have snapped instantly, because it only took like, what, 100-something pounds of force to snap it? I'm impressed. So we pretty well know that if the Titan cable can do it, which was the weaker cable, then obviously the Amazon cable can do it. So we're going to do it again, except this time I have the crane scale hooked up so we can see how much force it takes. I think I'm going to do the rocking method just like last time. Oh, come on. Here we go. Actually, it wasn't that bad. So, as you can see, it takes almost no force to, well, not almost no force, but it only takes 116 pounds of force to roll. I think this truck weighs like 4,400 pounds, something like that. So 4,400 pounds to roll on flat ground. It's not that hard. So this was, if it takes 116 pounds, the Titan cable snapped at, I think, 123. So this was just barely light enough to not snap that cable. Kind of interesting, but like I said, I'm kind of impressed with that. I thought it was going to snap. All right, so I think we have proven that these cables that are labeled extra durable and extra strong, and they're made out to be the strongest things ever. These things are absolutely not worth the money, at least not this Titan Power Plus cable that claimed to be the greatest thing ever. Can't even really do anything that it claimed to do other than barely pull a vehicle on flat ground. And according to the scale, it was just like, what, 10 pounds away from snapping? So it just goes to show that these cables that are labeled extra durable, not worth it. Stick with your Amazon basics, cheap cables, whatever, because most of the time they're going to be equal to this, and in this case they're even going to be stronger. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.